welcome to Tasty Thursday. We have another great book today and another great recipe to go with the great book. Our great book today is Frog and Toad Together. Now, I used to love reading the Frog and Toad books, and so I was really excited when this was on the very top shelf at my public library, so I was quick to check it out. So, in this book, Frog and Toad are best friends, and they have all kinds of great adventures and do all kinds of silly things. The story that I'm reading today, there are 4 different stories in this book. The one I'm reading today is called The Cookies. And basically, I won't tell you all the story because I'm sure you're going to want to check it out and read it for yourself. But Toad makes some really amazing cookies. And they're so amazingly good that Frog and Toad eat almost the entire batch. And they say, wait a minute, we should not eat all these cookies, we're going to get sick. So the rest of the story is all about how they try to creatively keep themselves from eating all the cookies. So that got me to thinking that these cookies must really be fabulous. So we should make some really fabulous cookies. So the recipe that I'm using today for chocolate chip cookies actually has world's best in the title. So today we're making the world's best chocolate chip cookie. And so I'm thinking this might be like what Toad made. They're going to be so yummy. We're going to have to maybe stop our taste tester from eating the whole batch. We'll find out, but let's get started. Okay, our ingredients. We need some softened butter, baking soda, sugar. This is white sugar. We also need brown sugar, baking powder, vanilla, eggs, and our flour is in here, and then of course our chocolate chips. So the very first thing we're going to do, you can either do this in a large bowl, or if you have an electric mixer like I do, you can just dump everything in the bowl. We're going to put our softened butter, and then we're going to add, that was 1 cup or 2 sticks worth. We're going to add 1½ cups of brown sugar, and I'm using my half-cup measure, so that means I'm going to do 3 half cups to reach my 1½ cup. One more half cup. Now some of you might remember that I made a recipe for purple lemonade a while ago, and I used brown sugar instead of white sugar. And some of you called me out on my mistakes, which it was a mistake on my part. This is the kind of recipe that brown sugar is perfect for. Any kind of baking is wonderful with brown sugar. Okay, so now that we've got that all in our bowl, we're going to take our mixing paddle, be sure our bowl is in there and our top is locked down, and we're going to start mixing it, and we're going to mix it until it's nice and creamy and fluffy, which will be about 3 minutes. So we're going to let it go for 3 minutes and then come back and check and see how nice and fluffy and delicious looking it is. Okay, our sugars and butter are nicely mixed together, so now it's time for us to add the next step. So this time we're going to add 2 eggs, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay. Remember, the teaspoon is the one on your measuring spoons that has the lowercase t. Sometimes it says 1 TSP. We're going to add 2 TSPs. So we do 1 and 2. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to let this mix up for just a little bit, just until the eggs are all mixed up. Maybe about 1 minute. And then it's time for us to add our next ingredients, which are the flour, salt, baking soda, baking powder, and the best part, the chocolate chips. Okay, so our eggs and our vanilla are nicely mixed in, so now it's time to add our flour. So we're going to add 3 cups of flour. Now I forgot to mention before that if you want to make these cookies dairy-free, if you or some of your friends can't have milk, you could use, instead of butter, you could use Earth Balance, and instead of milk chocolate chips, you could use dairy-free chocolate chips, which you can find at health food stores, or most grocery stores carry those now. Okay, here we go, our third cup of flour. Okay, and then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Now, I don't usually measure my salt. I just do a couple of twists because I don't use a lot of salt in my baking. Okay, and then we're going to do, of our baking powder, we're going to do 1½ teaspoons. And the nice thing about baking powder, it's got this nice little flat spot that helps keep your teaspoon level so you don't get too much. So here's 1½. And then our baking soda is next. Now, baking soda is an interesting spice because you can use it for baking, or you can also use it for cleaning. You can put it in your refrigerator and it keeps your refrigerator smelling nice and clean. You can use baking soda for all sorts of things. You can even use it for washing your clothes. Okay, so we're going to just stir this just enough for the flour to get mixed in, and then we're going to add our chocolate chips. You could also use peanut butter chips or butterscotch chips. You could use lots of different kinds of chips. I'm just using chocolate chips because those are our favorite. Okay, that's about the consistency we want. So we're going to go ahead now and add our chocolate chips. Woo! Okay, and now we're just going to mix those up. And you'll have to just watch, because what you're looking for is just for the chocolate chips to be nicely mixed into the batter. There's not really a set time that happens. You'll just have to watch. And ours is getting really, really close. I think we're just about there. Ooh, that's looking awesome. Okay. Now, I think I forgot to mention we preheated our oven to 350, so it's already ready to go. It's always a good idea to preheat your oven before you start making your batter, because then it's ready to go as soon as your cookie batter is ready. Okay. So, what we're going to do is take our trusty cookie scoop, and we're going to just make scoops right onto our pan. So I'm going to load this pan up with cookie dough, and then we're going to put it in the oven at 350, and we're going to bake them for 12 to 14 minutes. We're going to check them at 12 minutes, and then if they need to go a little bit longer, we'll let them go a little bit longer. So you'll just have to see how you like it done. So I'm going to finish this up and then pop them in the oven, and then we'll be back to take them out, and they're going to be smelling so good. I can hardly wait. It's the world's best chocolate chip cookie. Okay, our cookies are done. We're going to take them out of the oven, and I have to tell you, they certainly smell like the world's best chocolate chip cookies. So we're going to let these cool for just a couple of minutes. You're supposed to let them stay on the pan for 2 minutes, and then after 2 minutes, you take them, you use a spatula, and you scoop them off of the pan and put them on a wire rack to cool. And what that does is that helps the cookie cool all the way around, because the air can get underneath the wire. So we're going to wait 2 minutes and then scoop our cookies onto our wire rack, and then we're going to make a very special treat using our cookies, a great summer treat involving ice cream. So we'll do that in just a couple of minutes. This is such a good book. I was just reading another story in Frog and Toad Together called The Garden, and about how they make a flower garden. You have to check this book out from your library. Okay, so our chocolate chip cookies, the world's best chocolate chip cookies, have finished cooling. So we're going to make something that our taste tester really, really likes, and he calls it a chip witch. So all you do is you take one chocolate chip cookie and you put it upside down in a bowl. Then you take some ice cream. I'm just using vanilla. You can use whatever kind you want. You could also use frozen yogurt. Scoop a little bit out. Put it right in the middle of the cookie. And then take another cookie. Let's see, which one should we pick? Let's choose this one. And you put it right on top. And you have an ice cream cookie sandwich. So I'm going to go round him up. He's going to be really excited to have the world's best chocolate chip cookies on his chipwich. I'm sure he'll love it.
Hey everybody, I made some real good cookies. Chocolate chips make the world's best kind of treat. Gooey, melty, they're filling up my tummy. I've eaten 20 and now my belly's rumbling. 20 cookies is way too much to eat. I had to get all of that goodness inside of me. I won't eat dinner for at least 20 years. I think I got chocolate chips coming out of my ears. So please enjoy this world's best recipe. A taste of you, but don't overindulge, because too many will leave you feeling queasy, and then you'll grow a big belly bulge. 20 cookies is way too much to eat. I had to get all of that goodness inside of me. Won't need dinner for at least 20 years. I think chocolate chips are coming out of my ears. Oh. Oh, oh, I think chocolate chips are coming out of my